Here we go.
All right. Light crew tonight. The Shoehorns. Man, I don't know if we've ever done a three-person podcast.
Nah, I think we've done 4 minimum.
Well, we only have 5 members now.
Yeah.
We are down to 5. I will be taking attendance as always. Missing tonight is Swan and Ben. Are they both on vacation?
Ben is on vacation. I don't know why it is. I'm guessing he's on vacation.
Where are you off to see Ben?
Myrtle Beach.
I thought that's where Ben is going now.
He's there. I'm going down there in Saturday.
Oh, so you'll cross paths. I see.
Yeah, but anyway, we're talking a most violent year. Eric, what you got anything to bring it up in?
A most violent year. This movie came out in 2014. It stars Oscar Isaac along with Giselle Chastain. I don't think that's her real first name, but can't think of it right now. But
Jessica Chastain? What'd you say?
I just made up a name. I wasn't prepared. But yeah, I guess this is like somewhat of a gangster movie, kind of crime. You would think it would be more violent than it actually was, in my opinion. But we'll get into that tonight, I'm sure. This was a Nick selection. Finally, we watched a Nick movie again, and it was, as you pointed out, Travis, there's a trend going on with movies. Nick selections in the movie store. What was that observation?
Well, Nick is very fascinated by the seedy underbelly criminal underworld of New York City. But I mean, I don't think you're alone on that. I think they make a lot of movies about that because it is an interesting topic.
Yeah. It's our most famous movie in America.
I am confused though. Why? I mean, I was watching it thinking I had the same epiphany sitting there. Like everything I'm watching is about New York. And I'm more geared towards drama. And when you are doing drama in New York, unless it's a complete period piece, it's going to be about crime, right? So I don't know, man. It's like the last like 10 movies I've seen, I feel like have been all about New York. It's really strange.
Well, I think New York is the most fascinating city in the world. It's a crazy place. I mean, that's for sure. And it's a great, like, beautiful backdrop, but there's a lot of bad shit going on. And then I don't know. I think there's a lot of stuff you can do as an artist to play around with the biggest, huge city, lonely people, criminals, people trying to survive, rich people, poor people mixed in together.
It's and that's one of the reasons I've been wanting to watch Summer of Sam, the Spike Lee movie. And it starts off with this old white guy who is not in the movie any more than this. But maybe at the end he kind of comes back and wraps it up. He's like pretty much in Times Square. I forget what the backdrop is, but he says something to the effect of, "There's 8 million stories in the city," like the common expression. And he's just kind of just saying this happened in this particular neighborhood during this summer. And then the movie starts essentially. Like he's just like, this is one of those stories. And it's kind of exactly like you were just saying, this you can go in so many different directions and explore all walks of life. And I feel like that's why that movie sticks out to me, is because of the beginning of that. It doesn't just throw you in. It's just like, let's just go into the kaleidoscope and just focus right here, and this is kind of like that.
Well, it's so big and so many people that it's like hiding in plain sight. Like you can have these things that are basically hidden from, a bird's eye view.
Yeah. Anyway, background for me, I saw this Surge recommendation originally, took me to see it at the Angelica Theater in, I guess it's technically Fairfax.
Mosaic District.
Where are we at? Woodbridge? This Woodbridge? Virginia right now?
That's the best movie I've seen in 2023.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, this Virginia? Yeah, okay.
What is it, Nathan?
The imagination.
Nathan, Nate, Nick.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm sorry to ruin that.
No. but I really liked it when I first saw it, and it's scary to think that that's almost 10 years ago now. That's a very weird thing. That Oscar Isaac to me still seems like, even though he's very integrated into the scene, he seems like a new up and coming actor to me still for some reason. But he's so established, and he's got his fingers in all the pies. He's doing Star Wars franchises now, and he's everywhere. But he's
Ex Machina.
I looked that up because I was like, I'm sure there's some movies I didn't realize he was in, but this was 2014, so this was probably filmed in like 13, and he got the role in Star Wars in 2014. So this was like right at his
been
peak.
that long for the new Star Wars franchise?
Huh?
Whoa.
That was 2000. Well, he got it in 2000. It came out in like December 15 or 16.
Yeah, 2015.
That still seems like too long ago.
That
That's
is nuts.
crazy.
I was kind of surprised because, like, I don't know, he looked a little bit older in like he was only 34 in this movie. I thought he looked older. Maybe that was like I don't know.
Were these castings? When was Ex Machina? Cut like a year before this, probably.
I think that predates this.
He was in
came out in 2014. I mean, he blew up in 2000.
Yeah, this was like the explosion.
Yeah.
And I think Jessica Chastain also hit around this time too. Like
Yeah.
they both were just like the new hot commodities, and they did this movie together. Oh man, I think they're so good together. That HBO show I sent a video of to the group.
Yeah, what was that?
I couldn't tell what that was.
That's called Scene. I said it in the text. Scenes from a Marriage.
Yeah. Okay.
And that is something Wyatt will never want to watch. That is not fun. But that's some incredible acting, like weirdly good. You can check that out. Do not watch it with your wife.
And he doesn't. Yeah, that sounds like a recipe for disaster. He plays. He doesn't have a huge role in it, but I'm looking up what year Annihilation was. Annihilation was 2000.
Awesome.
Oh, that was 18. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, that's later.
Yeah.
I liked Annihilation.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, he's solid.
Yeah, I like Oscar Isaac a lot. I mean, Ex Machina was one of those movies where I was kind of blown away by it.
Mm-hmm.
Just watching it, which hasn't happened as many times recently, I feel like, but
yeah, and to bring it back to this movie, I don't think it's one that blows you away, but I think it's just solid. It's not like, it's not esoteric. You don't have to read too much into it or like, what does it all mean? It's just a really well done movie. I still liked it a lot. Like I didn't find too much fault with it. The only thing that, and I remember thinking that at the time, the ending was a little bit melodramatic, like a little too far past, like it almost got to like graphic novel level with the ending with the guy killing himself and like the symbolism of the plugging the oil. Like I think that it almost doesn't fit in the movie to me.
Yeah, well, I mean, the whole movie. I mean, they did such a good job. I thought, like building the tension, raising the tension. Like it just kept getting like, oh Jesus, I kept thinking like, this can only end two ways. He's gonna kill everybody, or him, or his wife, or his family are gonna die. Like that. This is the only way it can end.
Yeah.
And it did sort of end a little strange. I mean, I liked the ending, but the whole time I was thinking that it had to end like either super terrible or he was gonna kill everybody.
Yeah, I mean, he got what he wanted, right, in the end. And the guy who kind of really threw the spanner in the works ended up being kind of the sacrifice to make that happen in a way, right? So
well, yeah, that's kind of what I took from the whole thing was, I don't know, the rich people, they're breaking the law. The DA is investigating them, but that doesn't matter. Yeah, that doesn't matter. That's just rich people playing their games, and the people who get hurt are these, low people driving the trucks who don't have anything vested, but they're getting killed, and they don't have any money, and those are the people who are getting effed over.
Well, you know who the real winners are.
I don't want to hear this.
the Hasidic Jews are the real winners. Like, they just show up, grab suitcases of money, say, "Hey, pay us the rest of it,"
You
or
want? Yeah, you want 3 days? We'll give you 3 days.
yeah, like, I don't know. I loved that too. I loved Albert Brooks in this.
Mhm.
I don't know the guy's name, but the guy who's the villain in True Detective. As soon as he walked back in, I forgot he was in this. When I saw the barbershop scene and saw him walk in again, it was just like beautiful. All these actors are just money. I loved every single person in it.
Eric, you got some thoughts on this movie? Did you watch it?
I did. I just watched it.
Okay, you fresh?
Very fresh. I liked it. I think like you said, it was melodramatic in the end. I think it was pretty melodramatic throughout. Like, it was interesting. It was almost like a gangster movie, but it's like, to me, I was thinking during it, like, it's almost like The Godfather, but what if Michael never kind of like turns bad and like he kills the cop and then ends up coming back and killing all the other heads of like the 5 families to take control. It's like, what if, it's more like, what if you go by, I mean, he's a little corrupt, I guess, because his wife cooks the books, but he doesn't ever resort to violence. Like, he stops at killing that guy. Like, I never thought he was actually going to kill him.
I love the way he articulates it. He always chooses the path that is most right.
Yeah.
I love that.
The whole thing is like, the whole time you're wondering, like, I had the same thoughts, like, he's just going to die, because I felt like they were showing us that this guy was never going to go over that edge, and he's playing around in a place where he probably had to at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't. And it kind of bucks a lot of, like, I guess, trends. And, like, I thought it was going to be more of a gangster movie because of the title and just where it was going in the beginning. But it kind of is just like, it doesn't ever do that. And that's why I thought it was, like, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, really, the whole movie is about them closing that deal,
Right.
which doesn't really seem that interesting, but yeah, they made it interesting.
I was talking to somebody at work about that today. They're actually bringing up, they listened to a podcast about Arizona, and it was making me think about what we talked about with the water. Remember, we were talking recently about the water in Arizona and like golf courses and irrigation and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He was just talking about projecting places that you do not want to live in 20 years from now. And he was saying, he was listening to this podcast, and he was saying the water is not replenishing itself. Like all these factors, like, you don't want to be in Arizona when things really start cooking.
Yeah.
Like, it's fairly obvious. But I was saying, have you ever seen the movie Chinatown to him? Because the Chinatown is about like the water and distribution of water in California. But Chinatown, if you see the movie, that's just the back, like you were just saying, Travis. Like, that doesn't sound interesting, but it's what you put on top of that backdrop that makes an interesting movie or story. So it can be something just like closing a deal, and then, it gets off the rail somehow, and that's what you pay attention to. But I like that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, a lot of movies do that, where it's, the plot is not really the draw, or where the interest is put in, and I like that too.
Yeah, I think that's like a really good recipe for a good.
Yeah, because you can come up with these, I mean, I think actually probably that is what is fucked up with Hollywood right now, is these people in their rooms at Disney are writing the Guardians of the Galaxy shit, and they're like, this plot is amazing. This is flying off the page, this plot. These people are going to eat this up, but, it's not executed well. It's not acted well. The scene, the scenery doesn't look good. It's all totally effed up because the interest is put in the wrong place.
Yeah. You said one thing, like the acting's not there. This had that's what comes through the most in the movie, is just it's just so realistic because everybody's so natural. They're just good. I don't know, man. Just hit.
The scene where he's like, hold eye contact with them for longer than you want to. and he's just like staring at him. That part, I love that part.
Yep, I thought Oscar Isaac was fantastic. It was really good.
Yeah, this was the movie when I first saw it that sold me on him, and I just said, this guy gets it.
Yeah,
like, no questions asked.
He's the best part of the Force Awakens too, in my opinion. I like his character the most. He's got a lot of charisma, and in this movie, he doesn't really, but he's still like very likable for whatever reason.
Yeah, I can't even.
More like honorable in this movie. It's kind of endearing in that way. I don't know.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think he's likable.
He's certainly the hero. You know, it's like, hey, have you guys seen Show Me a Hero on HBO with him?
No.
That's the true story of the mayor in Yonkers. That I would recommend that probably over it for this audience, especially over Scenes from Marriage. That's not fun. Like another not fun one.
Mm.
But that's really good.
Mm.
Man, yeah, he's just money. I don't know. I feel like there's not too many talking points about the movie besides I like.
Well,
the
I'm
acting.
just gonna say that I don't. Now I can't remember what his first movie was, but the director J.C. Chandor, he had a couple movies that were, I think smaller budget, maybe indie. I don't know. They did pretty well, maybe from something I was reading. Then he had this, and I read an article. It's saying J.C. Chandor is the next big, director after this movie, and they also mentioned something about how they saw some Godfather in this story. So
Yeah, I think there's a lot of intentional Godfather homages, somewhat.
And then he did. Actually, hold on. I want to stay there real quick. One thing, I mean, I don't know if they did this intentionally or not, but one thing that I liked about, Game of Thrones is George R. R. Martin said one time that basically his idea was, okay, it ends happily ever after, and then what? Game of Thrones sort of is supposed to start after the happily ever after.
Hmm.
And so this is kind of like that with The Godfather, like what you were saying, where it's, what if, Michael Corleone didn't go down that path? Not quite the same thing, but just a different angle on a, sort of a known story trope.
Yeah.
It subverted a trope.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was trying to say, pretty much. Like it's like I just assumed it was gonna be more gangster, and yeah, it subverts all those tropes. I thought it was interesting. Like in the end, he's almost like a politician in the way he like conducts his business, and then the guy who's investigating him kind of like sees that and he's like, hey, like you might be able to help me out with my political aspirations, and like ends up pretty much winning that guy over. And Michael Corleone is like that until like they come at his family, and then he's like he kind of like lights a fire, and then the cop actually punches him in the face, and then he's like, I need to get payback on that guy. But like this guy, just that character change never happens, and I don't know if it was like the most interesting, like entertaining thing, but I found that interesting.
Yeah, I don't think the overall. It's not like a roller coaster ride. It's not like
Not at all.
entertainment. It's very cerebral at the end of the day.
It's very
Like you said,
realistic in a sense.
yeah, and you mentioned it right off the bat. For the title of the movie, there's very little violence actually in the movie.
Yeah.
Right. But that is like. I feel like the trailer for it, or like the cutout cardboard in the theater, they had some verbiage. I was waiting for it in the opening credits, but it never came. And it was about how 1981 was supposedly like one of the most dangerous years in the history of New York City. Like it was like in the modern era anyway. It was something like that. Like they're trying to set the stage of what's happened, like what the era is.
Mm-hmm.
But they keep you sheltered from a lot of that. It's not like just crazy shit happening in the streets. You see the little edges of it, like a little kind of, they flirt with it and show you like, oh yeah, that's not good. That's not good. But mostly it's about how he's navigating in this, kind of maze. I don't know. I like that it wasn't overly violent. You don't see these, you don't have a huge fight scene or like a gunshot, like you don't have a shootout or something. The only gun fired, I think, was well, I guess the robbery of that, nobody gets hurt in that with the
But
gun.
there's a shootout.
And then Jessica Chastain kind of showing, I can use a gun while you have your little crowbar trying to take this deer out of its misery. Those are the only gunshots I think that there are. I did not like the girl playing with the gun. I did not like that. Dude.
Nobody did.
That's so scary. Oh my God.
I don't know. Yeah, what do you think they were trying to go for? Oh, go ahead, Travis.
No. Well, I was just gonna say one thing I didn't like, or I feel like they didn't capitalize, was the whole Peter thing. The Peter guy who lived in his little tennis bunker.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they sort of, they set it up for something, I was kind of waiting for that to be the final tick up in sort of suspense or betrayal or stakes or, something. I thought Peter was going to be sort of involved in the finale, and he wasn't. And I maybe it was a red herring or something, or maybe that's just kind of the point, but
he was neutralized. That threat, Oscar Isaac no longer became a threat to him because now he had him in pocket with a very unfavorable deal. So whatever deal he's making, he still has to pay him out in dividends. Like he's got that guy, tennis ball boy, has him by the balls just so he can complete his deal. So he's no longer a threat. He's almost incorporated.
Yeah. But still, I wanted it to be like Peter, because he sort of seemed like a little bit boys with Peter. I wanted it to be Peter stealing from me. He's in this fort. He's the bad guy. He's the real bad guy sort of thing going on. Yeah. But it was good. But I was sort of expecting that.
Having already seen it, obviously I knew Jessica Chastain had been stealing, right? And I paid attention, and I think they make it pretty clear, but like her facial expression in the first scene you see, you wonder, like, does she love this guy? Or does she trust, are they on the same page? Because she clearly does not respect him fully, right? She doesn't think he's very streetwise. She doesn't think
he's a mob boss's daughter.
Right. And she keeps a certain, there's a veil between them in a sense. And I feel like that subtlety that she plays with throughout the movie, I can't believe how good she is. Like, she's just ridiculous to me. But I feel like I was reading into it more than I should have, because I knew that she's cooking the books the entire time. Like, you know what I mean?
I don't know, man. She's one of the best out there. I mean, I loved her, and I really liked Molly's Game, Zero Dark 30, Interstellar. I mean,
she has zero misses. She's gotten 1,000.
She's phenomenal.
Very good.
Yeah. What were you saying, Eric? You were saying something before Travis.
Forget what I was gonna ask.
Oh, jeez.
Oh no, I was gonna say, like, and it tied to like him not being able to shoot the deer and how she's like more masculine than him in the relationship. But how do you feel about him? Pretty much like he promised his workers pretty much like that he would protect them, but he never really did anything. Like, and the guy Julio, he took it upon himself to like get his own gun pretty much, and then he ends up getting fucked because he either has to go to prison or he has nowhere to go. So then he kills himself. So I guess that would be like, I don't know, like for just one person to die and for him to achieve what he achieved seemed like, I don't know. I just feel like there wasn't a lot of loss. Like he didn't have to sacrifice a lot. What did you think of that?
Go ahead, Travis.
I got nothing.
No, I think he definitely is out for him. Like, he wants to succeed, and he says it to them. I wish you the best of luck. At the end of the day, you are servants to my empire, this empire I'm trying to build. Good luck out there. Go make me money, and if you don't, you're out of here. And he also says to Julian, even though he likes that kid, obviously, but he will not. He will not let him be a salesman. He wants him to keep driving the truck. He encourages him to keep driving the truck after he got the shit beat out of him.
Right.
Doesn't give him a gun. When he shoots himself, he wants him to shoot himself so badly.
Yeah.
And as soon as he dies, He's more worried about
Plug the hole.
the precious cargo
Right.
than and that it's very clear. He's about business, not about people are expendable to him, right? He's not like an awful person, but he definitely he shows his priorities very clearly.
Yeah. Yeah, when I saw him come into the frame, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be a stupid ending. And I didn't I'm glad like he didn't shoot any of them. And I'm glad that there was the extra scene where the guy coming in, the guy that was investigating him, because like if it had just ended with him shooting himself, I don't think that would have been that as good. But I don't know. I don't really know what to say about this movie. It's very subtle, but it was just. I think I find it most interesting to see that it bucks a lot of the cliches of what I thought it would be.
That's why I particularly wanted to recommend it for Shoehorn, because I feel like it's one of those ones that was very good. It was critically acclaimed, but it kind of flew under the radar.
Yeah.
It was kind of in the art house goon category, more or less. Like, like it wasn't wide release for very long at all. And I just think I think it's just a solid movie. It's not like earth shattering, and it's not something that's been lauded or remembered very well.
Yeah, it was a good, worthwhile watching.
Yeah, it was a good shoehorn to me. Now I'm just gonna say something about him thinking that people are expendable. I don't quite see it like that. I see it as he is willing to put everything on the line to try to get success, and he sort of proved that by doing all these horrible deals to get it across the line. His little brother's making fun of him for doing the sucker mortgage for the apartment building. Then he goes to Peter, and Peter gives him a terrible deal, and I forget even what the first deal. He accepts his wife's money who stole from him, and he expects that from all the people who are working for him. You have to. That's the only thing he understands is putting it all on the line. He's like a poker player who's just willing to put it all in the pot on every hand.
Yeah, when it's the scariest to jump is the time you jump. Like that, him saying that at the dinner.
Yeah,
like
yeah, exactly.
Push yourself to the point where you feel uncomfortable and make those decisions to get what you want. And he does it over and over. He lives by his creed completely.
Yeah, he lives by that.
Mouth, he definitely owns up to his own philosophy. He's not bullshitting with what he says, But then it just raises a moral question about him. Which makes him overall likable, I think. But I do think I wouldn't want to work for that guy, probably.
Oh, hell no. Yeah, hell no.
What I'm trying to get at, actually, is I don't see him being successful at this because, who's ever going to feel protected? I guess he made it to a point now where it's oh, no one's going to come at him because he's so big, but I just don't see that. So, yeah, I don't know.
He's going to have political protection now.
Yeah, I guess, it's interesting, that he was able to achieve power through no violence, almost.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe that's the point of the title. In a most violent year, where everybody is, doing all of this violence, he's able to do it without that.
Yeah. It's almost like how did he get that done? Just doing things the right way, I guess, right?
Well, the most right way.
The most right way, right? And I guess as far as the trucking business, he kind of was explaining it in that scene with the kids, we are better. This is why, blah blah blah.
I mean, I don't think it's that, because there's people who are doing things. He is willing to put it all on the line every time. That's not common.
Yeah, and he made a wise decision going after the land that he acquired. Obviously, if he never got it, he's screwed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Something else I was thinking about was there's a lot of chase scenes in this movie.
Yeah.
I didn't try and think of what the director was trying to portray with that. I guess because when the guy's at his house, he chases him a little bit, but then he doesn't. There's a lot of scenes where Julio's running away, and then he has to run after the guy. I thought it was strange that he's chasing that guy in his Benz, the truck in his Benz, and then once the guy gets out of the truck, he just kind of like looks at him like he's not going to do anything, and then eventually he does chase after him. It's almost like
Yeah.
ready finally to like do something violent, and he does like beat him up, but he's not willing to go all the way and shoot him. I guess it's pointless. Like if you shoot him, you're never going to find out who's coming, who hired him. And then since he saved his life, the guy was like, gave it up pretty much. So to him, doing it the right way worked out, I guess. I guess that's the message to me. I don't know if that's right, though.
Yeah, you were drawing parallels to him having like homages to Godfather, and I'm not sure it's exactly an homage, but I feel like the director likes the French Connection a whole lot. Like the amount of chase scenes and how he was doing them. It's like that one that goes on from in the tunnel and then ends up like you were just talking about all the way to the platform, the subway. Shit takes forever, but it's really good. Like it's very.
You're
Yeah,
wondering
I
what's
was
he gonna
entertained
do.
by it.
Catches this guy finally.
I also think the balls on that guy when you realize he's not going to get shot and he says, "No, nobody put me up to it. It was just me, dummy." Like he's lying. Like he's just like.
Yeah, but I almost wonder if he knew like his reputation as this guy will not. He won't. He probably won't kill me just because he probably knows like this guy doesn't really resort to violence.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And also, I also think because to me, you feel like you definitely know because they set him up as such a villain. The guy in the barbershop clearly is the guy fucking with him. Like there can hardly be any ambiguity because there's almost like a little bit of a threat there in the barbershop first scene anyway.
Yeah.
He can't be sure, but it's not like a Hamlet type scenario. Like you're pretty sure. Like you're like, yeah, this guy's fucking me. For sure he's fucking me, but he doesn't have the proof yet. But yeah, and he's the one that's to the right hand of Peter in that sit down, and he's laughing his ass off. You know, it's like pretty sure it's you, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway,
Have you guys seen? I was looking at the director J.C. Chandor. He did this in 2014, and then he didn't do anything until 2019. Triple Frontier. Did any of you see that?
nope,
The Ben Affleck Columbia movie.
nope.
I mean, it was yeah. I need to watch it again maybe, but I liked it. It was pretty good.
Has he done anything else besides those two movies?
No, I think he's got a couple like upcoming.
I never thought to even look up who directed
You know,
it.
Javier Bardem was supposed to be the Oscar Isaac character at the beginning.
Well, I mean, that would have worked for me too.
Yeah. But he's also a writer. See, he's got Craven the Hunter, The Connection. Yeah, he did. Yeah, I don't know. He struck out on All Is Lost. He had Margin Call in 2011.
Margin Call. He did Margin Call?
He did Margin Call.
Whoa.
You like
I'm a
that
big fan. I'm a big Margin Call boy. Jeremy Irons is money. I also like Daniel Tucci a lot. He's great.
Kevin Spacey, Zachary Quinto. Pretty good cast.
Have you seen Margin Call?
Nah.
Watch it.
It's
That's
2008 Wall Street.
Perfect. It's the beginning of the recession. It's the housing market collapse, but it's done in a 24-hour. It's like in real time what happened. It's like in the span of a day, what happened to the whole world.
That sounds pretty cool. Yeah.
That is I'm getting tingles thinking about that. That's a great movie, man.
Well, yeah. Anyway, so he had success with that. Got another shot. All Is Lost. That I think
What is that?
got I don't know. That's got a 6.9. Then he did this. This got pretty relatively highly rated. And then he did Triple Frontier, which has a 6.5. So that's not very highly rated. And now it seems like he's out of shots.
Yeah, well, he didn't blow the right person.
Yeah.
Too bad. Well, at least squeezed two good movies out of him.
Yeah, it's better than most. Albert Brooks's role was originally written for Stanley Tucci.
Either or, man. I like both of those dudes. Albert Brooks is kind of hit or miss for me. Like, I actually don't really like him too much in Drive for some reason. Like, he's like the sore spot of Drive for me.
I can't even remember that movie. I saw that in theaters, I'm pretty sure.
Same. I thought that was a great theater experience. I had a lot of fun with that. But he just sometimes he's not right. I love Albert Brooks in Curb Your Enthusiasm. He has one of the best cameos of that whole series for me.
Which is it? I
They
feel
have
like
they have a wake for him. They're like eulogizing him while he's upstairs.
he gets this hand sanitizer. He's got this.
He's
hand
the COVID hoarder.
yeah,
and
the COVID order. That is a good one.
that's so good.
that is a really good one. when Larry sees the closet full of COVID shit. He's a COVID order. Abel Morales play on the words Abel and morals, central themes of this film.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Final scores?
Yeah, it's fine for me.
Yeah.
You want me to kick it off or what?
Kick it
Sure.
like a soccer ball.
Oh man, I mean, relative to like the tippy top,
Tippity tip.
give me like a 8.3.
Mm.
Give me like an 8.3. I'm good with that.
Right, 8.3 in the books. Travis, what do you got?
I think I'm going. I'd love. Do you have like all our ratings up there? Could you find what I gave 25th Hour?
25th Hour.
You're gonna put it right next to it?
No, I don't have the rankings.
Okay.
My rankings start at The Devil's Backbone. Probably because I took offense to low scores that were given at that time. The highest rated movie so far, just while we're talking about things, is Inside at an 8.39. Yikes. We gotta fix that.
That's not a movie. So that's what's an actual movie that was our highest rated was Starship Troopers, wasn't
Well,
it?
I just actually yes, you're right, 9.28. I didn't see that. Yeah, Starship Troopers, you're right.
I'm gonna give it a 7.75. I liked it a lot. I think out of all of the New York movies, I don't know. I think I still kind of maybe liked 25th Hour. That's why I kind of want to know what I gave 25th Hour. If I gave 25th Hour, it's like a 7.5. I would probably try to give this one a 7.5 too, maybe. But
Okay.
25th Hour is better than this for me, like 100%.
yeah, that's what I mean. So I liked 25th Hour a little bit more, just going by New York movies.
Mm-hmm.
But
Subgenre.
I mean, because Edward Norton's money in that. But I thought it was a very solid movie. I'm glad we did it. I'm glad I saw it. I like Oscar Isaac and Jessica Chastain a lot. I enjoyed it. I think I've already said everything I need to say about it.
Yeah. Hey, no one's faulting you there. All right. 7.75 for Travis in the books. I'm going to go ahead and give this is just a solid 7 for me. I think that's a good score. It's not in that 8 level probably just because even though I did enjoy it, as I had said, like my favorite parts were just I would buck some tropes that I was expecting. So I liked the curveball and I think Oscar Isaac was perfect for the subdued nature of this movie, the tone that it had. So I really enjoyed him, but I don't think it's one that I'm going to revisit a lot of times. But I'm not going to say it's a bad movie because of that. So I'm going to come in at a 7.
Okay, I'm actually going to do an unprecedented thing in Shoehorn, unless this is not unprecedented. I'm going to revise my score.
Hey, that's okay.
Okay.
There's no. Do we look like people who keep strict rules here?
Well, it's also, I mean, I don't want to upset the audience. You know, that's a big thing.
Yeah,
That's a
So,
real
it
big.
might not be a good idea to upset them.
You know how many
Um,
emails I'm dealing with on a daily
yeah,
basis?
the inbox is just no. So this was the third time I've seen it. To Eric said it's not something he's going to revisit. I don't know why I've revisited it twice now. You know, because
I'm
at
like,
the end of the day, I'm not left away. I don't leave like, oh my. I probably overhype it in a way like, oh, you need to see that, but you don't. Honestly, you don't need to see this movie, right? I think that's fair to say.
no,
But
but that doesn't mean it's a bad movie.
no, I think it's solid. I think
Yeah.
it's he's a good man and thorough is how you describe this movie.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to revise this. I don't think it deserved the 8. Okay? But I'm going to get it right to the tip of it. I'm going to give it a 7.9 revised score. Just
Okay.
on the cusp. Just on the cusp of
Yeah.
an 8.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of how I felt. Doesn't quite reach the 8.
I liked that you got your scores felt much more like they resonated with me more than my own score, so I wanted to revise. And that brings us to a grand total of a clean 7.55 movie.
That feels right.
Yeah, that feels
That
good.
feels very right to me.
Yeah, it does.
Now,
7.5.
what would the score had have been if you had kept that 8.3? I wonder.
That would have been a 7.68, so like a 7.7.
You know,
Well,
we're pretty much
7.5.
we're pretty much on the pulse of the nation here. 7.0 IMDb rating, so
What's
not too
critic?
far. Well, not too far off from that.
What was it?
Well, 7.0 IMDb. Do they show that on IMDb?
Oh, I thought you said Rotten Tomatoes.
No, IMDb.
Okay. I'm curious because this is one of those ones I feel like the critic score would be higher than the audience score for sure.
Yeah. Rotten Tomatoes is a 90%.
Wow.
What about the audience rating?
72% of Google users like this movie. The audience score 69. Yeah, spot on.
Exactly. Audience score because you can tell you get those must go fasters in there and it's did you see the lighting and the post production and the
Yeah.
look at the perspective did you know like that they'll get into all that technical shit but it's not it's not a 90 there's no way no way
Yeah, it's not a 90.
No.
yeah but it's an acting to use the cliche tour de force like that it is 100% that
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, also like Rotten Tomatoes, it's like 90 means that 90% of people thought it was better than like average.
sure
That's true.
It's not a 9 out of 10. It just means like, yeah, I would recommend this. 9
Yeah,
out
I mean,
of people
yeah, that's a good point that the Rotten Tomatoes kind of favors these movies where like everybody gave it a 7.
Right.
That means
Right.
if 9 out of 10 people give it a 7, it's a 90%.
yeah
Even though
fair
it's
point
really like an average of 7.
I'm surprised 70% of the audience or 69. I don't know. I could see like people being like not liking this because it was like boring, but it seems like most people got what we got out of it. Probably, I guess they liked it.
and that's really the tragedy today is that we didn't get Wyatt's take on this.
That's what I was about to ask next. Was what do you think Wyatt and Ben would have given these movies?
Ben it would be the monotone defeated attitude and it would seem like he's going to say 5 or 4 but then he'd say I liked it 8 he'd be somewhere around us and then Wyatt that's why I don't really care what Ben has to say no offense to Ben or offense to Ben I don't care but Wyatt I can't tell like I have no
Yeah.
it's like a coin flip a true coin flip.
Yeah, because it wasn't like pointless violence. Like
I
that
think it's so hyped up as called the most violent year, and it starts off so tense. I don't think he'd be able to do it. Like if we went in and told him like only one person dies in the last scene of the movie, there's really not that much violence. He may be able to go in and be like, okay, I mean, yeah, it's not that bad, but
Yeah.
still not his cup of tea.
No, I don't think there's enough of a message here for Wyatt. I think Wyatt would have came in at a 5.5 to a 6 at best.
Yeah, that's probably fair. I don't know. I can't read that guy. Because, I mean, the most depressing movie that we've watched is Inside. It, by far, the most depressing thing you'll see is Inside. But he loves it, you know? And that doesn't make sense to me. Like, it resonates with him, but he wants roses all the time. And then he sees this guy that
enjoys. Yeah, I think he enjoys that this guy, what he created in a depressing time.
Sure.
It's inspiring.
But he has
but
a
it's
very
also,
dark message.
sort of, but it's also sort of a good message too, of like
Sure.
keep going.
It's already gone out of my head. Like, that was my problem. I knew I wouldn't really remember it that well. It's just a bunch of music videos, like goofy videos.
I mean, the yeah, the point of it is everything is pointless and rich people are bad, and what's the point of trying? But sort of at the same time, it's you got to keep trying. That's sort of a double
Sure. Fair enough.
edged blade.
Yeah. It's certainly not like defeatist, and it's not nihilistic. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess you're right. It's not like game over. But he also
But I think it's not necessarily like it's violence. He doesn't like, well, because Starship Troopers is violent.
He likes there to be
telling
some.
you, there's
Hard to figure.
Yeah.
He's tough. He's a tough one. But I'll tell you what, I just want to know what he thinks, because he'll stand on that. You're not going to see any revised scores. It's going to be.
Well, he will never watch this movie, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that's the crime.
Well, I just have to try next time.
All right. Well, what's your favorite Jessica Chastain role or movie? What's your favorite Oscar Isaac role or movie? You said it?
No, I haven't said mine for Jessica Chastain. I haven't seen enough of Oscar Isaac. I might put this up there. I thought it was great, but like I said earlier, he's the best part of the new Star Wars movies, in my opinion. I think I really like the character of Poe, and it's all him pretty much. But for Jessica Chastain, one you forgot to mention is, what's it called? Space movie with Matt Damon and Mars.
Interstellar.
Oh, The Martian. I did forget that.
Oh, The Martian too. Yeah.
Oh, The Martian
she's also
is
with Matt
good.
Damon in Interstellar. They're both in Interstellar.
Yeah.
A lot of the space movies, I guess. But yeah, I really like her in The Martian.
That's a good one.
She's, like you guys said, I mean, she's just never bad. She's a great actress.
He's batting 1,000.
I really liked Molly's Game, but I think I'd have to give it to. I think I got to go Interstellar.
Did she win?
Her best performance?
Well, I don't know. However you want to take it.
She won an Oscar.
Is it the best movie she's in, or the best?
I think you could do if you felt. I think if you felt strongly about either one, you could pick that and explain it.
Well, the other thing that she has a leg up on is she's so much better than that other one in Interstellar, Anne Hathaway. Like, it's not even a fair fight when you see that Jessica Chastain pops up. If Jessica Chastain, I just watched that recently. She pops up midway through, right? Because she's all grown up.
Mm-hmm.
And Anne Hathaway's already been kind of shitting her britches the whole time. Like, I don't think Anne Hathaway does a good job.
I like Anne Hathaway in Interstellar.
I just have a problem with her personally. I think I really don't like her.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Like, she comes on screen and that just not a thing for me. She's no range. She does the same thing in everything I ever see her. Like, it could be a rom-com. She could be going through the end of the world or the end of the universe in that case. And it's just kind of the same thing.
Yeah. I don't think you necessarily need range. If your limited range works for the part, it works for the part to me.
I see what you're saying there. I do see what you're saying, but I'm a big I'm a big range guy.
Yeah, it's good to have range for sure.
Always good to have range.
But Keanu Reeves has no range. I still like him in a lot of his
Sure.
movies. Tom
There's-
I
Cruise
mean,
has
Adam
no
Sandler.
range.
Adam Sandler has more range than Anne Hathaway. A lot more range.
I don't know about that. Well,
Has
with
Has she,
Uncut
has she done
Gems.
Happy Gilmore and Punch Drunk Love? You seen those?
I
Yes.
think I always think of for like big movie stars in the range. I always go to Matt Damon as my first thought.
Yeah.
Like he's so good, but I feel like whenever he tries to step outside of Matt Damon, it's just terrible.
Yeah.
Like he's so
I
good
mean,
at being. I don't know. I just feel like his characters don't differ that much ever.
I think most actors don't have that much range. I think most
But
actors.
that's what I mean. It's like, and that's fine. I think for the most part that's fine. But the outstanding actors, like the best ones, are the ones that have the range. That's why they're so great, because they're chameleons. Like they're able to adapt and kind of melt themselves down and pour themselves in a new mold all the time.
All right,
It's
who's your actor with the best range?
Philip Seymour Hoffman, like no question.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm. It's a good one.
I just typed in actors with incredible range, and Matt Damon is on the list.
That's false.
Yeah, I
Like,
kind
think
of
about
agree
this.
with you.
Like, think about Philip Seymour Hoffman. It's an old thing, okay? Think about him in, well, I'll give you 3 movies. Along Came Polly,
Hmm
Mission Impossible 3, or 2, or whatever.
No, 3.
3.
And then let's throw in something like Capote, or Boogie Nights, or Twister, or whatever you want to say.
Big
Pirate
Lebowski.
Radio, Almost Famous. It's
Yeah.
just like, what's going on? How is he?
The Devil Wears Prada, or whatever it's called.
Before the Devil Knows You're Dead.
Before the Devil Knows You Did.
Is it more so that he's like what's traditionally called a character actor, where you have more ability to play around in that role, whereas someone like a Matt Damon is a A-lister and they want him to be more of an everyman. They don't want Tom Hanks or Matt Damon.
Right, and that's why, that's why I think that those people they have less opportunities. The really truly good ones have less chance to be leading men. The exception to that rule is Daniel Day-Lewis, because he almost always inevitably plays.
And that's like a method actor.
And he is like, I got a problem, obviously. Like I just
don't think these days there's enough movies that will ever support someone like Daniel Day-Lewis anymore, unfortunately, because they don't make the movies where that's the role he's going to gravitate towards. It's more box office driven. I think for me, I would put Jack Nicholson definitely like in my top 3.
Jack Nicholson.
Excuse me, Jack Nicholson. Yeah,
the Golden Bear.
The Golden Bear.
Yeah,
he was good.
Just typing up the list, I've got one that I think is. This guy has got a lot of range. Gary Oldman.
Yes.
Yeah.
That dude got
He's
some range. Brad Pitt. I mean.
Oh, that's what I wanted to bring that up when I was saying, because Brad Pitt is a character actor, but he's almost kind of like Brad Pitt a lot of times. But he's also, maybe not. I don't know.
No,
I mean, yeah.
I think there's one of those exceptions. And I have a theory about him and Johnny Depp. I feel like they would be appreciated even more than they are if they weren't incredibly attractive men.
Right. It's hard not to say that that's Brad Pitt. Like,
yeah, like Brad Pitt shits on Matt Damon.
It would be pointless to Brad Pitt modify his face and like you were just saying, like he's so good looking. That's why you're not going to take that away from the movie. It would be. Right. Has he been in movies where he's changed? I guess what was that movie in reverse where he ages in reverse?
Benjamin Button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one I want to go back to. I remember not liking it at all, but
trust me, I did that. I still didn't like it.
Yeah.
I forget that that's a David Fincher film when I think about his movies.
It is? I don't remember that. Yeah,
it's the worst one. Yeah. Besides maybe Alien 3 or whatever the hell,
Alien 3,
yeah. But anyways.
But I was thinking about Matt Damon again. where they probably think that he has great range because of talented Mr. Ripley. And again, the best part of that movie is Philip Seymour Hoffman. Like, it's a short, small role, and I'm biased, obviously, but
Philip
Jude Law is
Seymour
great in that
Hoffman
too.
is in the list.
Well,
Yeah,
he
he's
better
got-
be higher than Matt Damon's ass. That's damn.
Well, I don't
sure.
think they have him ranked.
Yeah, but Jude Law and Philip Seymour Hoffman outplay Matt Damon and talented Mr. Ripley. Both of them. So weird.
Well, Travis, it's your turn.
It
Does Christian
is.
Bale
I
have
Oh
range?
God.
Probably weren't prepared for this. We
You
didn't
should
fill out of order.
have told me.
Yeah, I apologize.
I've got a list here.
Okay, now let's go over the last couple. You just did the most violent year. We did the big year before that. We did Angriest Man in Brooklyn, no thanks to Zach. We skipped Eraserhead. We did Best in Show, Raising Arizona, Inside. So we went on a little bit of a comedy run. You can really go in any direction here. What are you thinking?
Uh,
Talk to us.
I mean, talking about Brad Pitt and range got me
Mm.
thinking about Robert Redford.
Okay.
Got me thinking about Spy Games a little bit.
Spy Games.
You know, Wyatt's not here to veto me. It didn't work out last time with Time Bandits, but this was another movie I have not seen that I'd like to see is Predestination. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know if that's free.
Can we please watch Spy Game?
Yeah. Is it free anywhere?
I really don't care. I
Yeah.
really want to watch that.
I know.
We've
I just said
you've
that
mentioned
to
it so
get
many
Zach to
times.
quit. Now I don't care anymore.
You've mentioned it so many times in the last
You've never
couple
seen
months. What?
You've never seen it?
Jack talked Thai very well. I'm such a fan of that movie, dude.
So good.
This is not free anywhere, unfortunately.
Have you seen it, Eric?
I don't know if I have. I feel like I have, but I honestly wouldn't be surprised if I haven't. It's one of those for me.
All right. Well, I'm gonna say. Speaking of Philip K. Dick, I've also never seen
Always do.
Scanner Darkly.
Hmm.
It's sort of an animated movie.
Yeah, I've always heard of that. Scanner Dark.
It's called cell shading, isn't it, or something like that? What is that called?
What, the drug in it?
No. That type of
the
animation.
artistic animation. I don't know.
Woody Harrelson's pretty cool in that. I haven't seen that since around when it came out to video. I didn't see that in theaters, but not too long after that. Like, I feel like Blockbuster was still around. I feel like I rented that.
It's pretty old. Another one that I've seen a long time ago and would like to revisit is Existence. Existence. That is a movie from the director that we watched one of his movies, and it got me thinking about him again. Which director was it? Cronenberg.
David Cronenberg. Side Effects?
I don't know. Did he do that?
Oh boy.
He did. What did he did that we watched?
Eastern Promises, it looks like.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's what it was.
Is he the director that did Side Effects? Am I wrong on that?
What year would that have been?
I don't know.
I'm not seeing it on here.
Side Effects is the same guy that did Contagion.
No.
Who did that?
Oh, this guy's an actor. Yeah.
He's also an actor, yeah. Contagion.
If we were a popular podcast, we would get so much hate mail because we don't know directors or we don't really know. We get so many things wrong.
We're not prepared yet. Oh, Steven Soderbergh. They're kind of similar names.
Sorry about that. Cronenberg, Soderbergh. Sorry.
Yeah. Adjustment Bureau. He's got pretty good.
I hated Adjustment Bureau. God, I hated that movie.
Really?
I don't know
I
why.
I only saw it once. I remember liking
That was
it.
a theater.
Matt Damon. There's no
Yeah,
ring.
he's done a lot of Matt Damon movies. Jesus.
That was
Oh,
like
never mind.
that was the first time I think I saw that. What's her name in that? Jim from The Office's wife.
Yeah, Blunt.
That's her, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, yeah, no, Existence. I'm feeling more. Yeah, Spy Game, Scanner Darkly, Predestination. You guys got any tickles? Sounds
Well,
like Nick
I
is thinking
know.
Spy Game.
I like Spy Game, but if there is one that's free, you know, the path of least resistance, choose the path that is most right here.
Predestination.
I'll watch Spy Game on my own goddamn time. You know, I don't need the podcast for that, and we can talk about it on the side, Travis.
Yeah. We'll watch it tonight. We can talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah, what you feeling to shoot?
Probably pretty high since it's never like I've come to know that once you shoot your best round in a while, it comes back down to earth the next time.
What was your best round in a while? What'd you hit?
Oh, I shot a 79 the other week.
Pardon
Wow.
me?
Yeah. First time since I've been back.
You
The best part
80?
is I lost to
To who?
Corey. Corey and I had
Damn.
a fucking battle, dude. We were back and forth all day, tied going into 18, 6 over. He birdies 18, and I bogeyed it. He shot 77.
Am so unhappy I wasn't there to witness that battle.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That would have just been fun to watch some good golf like that. When you
Yeah.
see people shoot like that, it's kind of inspiring, you know?
No.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
Oh, I know you're not. Yeah. I know what Zach. I mean, Zach was saying that. He was like, this is just incredible to watch.
It is. I agree.
Yeah. No, it was fun.
That's
There
cool,
at
man.
the old Stonewall.
That was at Stonewall. That's
Yeah.
not exactly a cupcake lunch, is
It's
it?
not a cupcake. It's not too bad. I don't know. You know, there's courses that fit your eye. Stonewall fits my eye pretty much. Bristow fits my eye pretty well.
I feel like Bristow's tough. I think Stonewall is just. I haven't played it that many times. I really wanted to play it tomorrow, but I went to go book it. It was $115, and I said, I'm not doing that.
It was
Okay.
115 on a Friday.
At 7:30 or 8 o'clock on a Friday.
I mean, I paid 107 on that round on Saturday morning, but
That makes a little more
Friday,
sense.
a tiny
yeah.
bit. Friday should be under 100.
Friday for sure. And in Bull Run was over 100. Bull Run was like 109.
That's insane.
It's crazy. I was just like, absolutely not. No way. That's why I went to Bristow.
Yeah, 60 for Bristow. That's a fucking hell of a deal compared to those.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Eric. None of those are free.
Well, no, Predestination's free, and one
On
of the other
where at?
on Pluto TV, and the other one was
Eh.
I don't
Pluto
have-
cuts stuff out, by the way. I've noticed that. If you watch a movie you've seen before, Pluto, the way it runs with the ads and stuff, you might miss 15 minutes of a movie.
Yeah, I had a pretty miserable experience watching it on fucking Pluto. Whatever I watched on there.
all right.
I mean, those ads are like 100. You see the countdown from 120 or some shit. Like,
No.
I'll pay $4.
No,
Yeah.
if you watch it on Pluto, I will spend $3.99.
Yeah. What was the other one? Scanner Darkly. That's not free anywhere.
That was free on
Either.
Tubi.
Same bit.
Tubi.
Yeah,
Same
exactly.
deal. All right, well, let's do Spy Game. I want to re-roll on Spy Game.
That one's not free.
Yeah, I know.
I
Fuck
will
free.
shoehorn special for Nikki. Since I hit that
Oh, really?
massive that EPL parlay, everybody's covered.
Oh, nice. I like that.
Okay, can't say no to that. Free.
When did you cash that out?
The night before I posted it to you guys in the
Oh,
morning.
right. I
want-
kind of suspected you did that.
I saw that, and then I wanted to say cash out, but then I didn't want to say that. But I'm glad you made that decision because I was like,
I made the
I was like,
decision
I
because
guarantee Tottenham fucks you. I guarantee it. And I wouldn't bet on. Was it a draw for us?
yeah,
You
which
got
I
that.
nailed.
You got that. Yeah, but I was like,
Yeah.
Tottenham. I don't like that.
Tottenham. Jesus
Damn.
Tottenham was the
Christ.
only one. Tottenham is the
Yeah,
only one that
yeah.
failed me.
You would have been
I know.
sweating that draw too, though. Like, damn. But I mean, you
Oh
were.
yeah, no, it wasn't worth the sweat. I
Yeah.
had because what happened the last game of the last games of the season, the last round where all the games are together. If you don't remember, why would you? But I was sweating that out in the
I agree.
Liverpool game. I was about to hit thousands, and I just let it run. And that's when
Yeah.
Travis said, "That's why you got to bet it twice." And then I was
Yeah.
like, wanted to blow my brains out. And so when I
This-
looked at it, because I forgot about it, I assumed that I failed, and 7 legs hit, and I said, "No, cash like 100% cash out,
Yeah,
no
yeah.
question."
Yeah.
And what was
You-
crazy was the Fulham game. I went back and watched some highlights of that. If you haven't seen that Fulham game, Leno, he saves. I think the
30
expected
shots.
goals. The expected goals on him was upwards of 3. Like
Wow.
he saved clear cut goals. And it was one of those games like Fulham had no business winning at all. And I don't know. It just
That's
just
crazy.
one of those things.
Congratulations, Burned.
Yeah,
Bernd
nice
Leno.
name.
All right, so we're gonna watch Spy Game. Everybody tune in next week and watch it. Spy Game. See you next week. We got an hour in the tank. I think that's good, right?
Sure. Yeah. There's
So-
not much to say. I mean,
It's a
Yeah,
more
no, there's
measured
nothing- yeah.
conversation. I think we
Yeah.
have more level-headed folks on the call tonight.
All right. Good night.
no. Thank you for joining us.